Hey guys, Cam for 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and it's been a long time. I kept my One Piece fans who are subscribed to the channel waiting for a very long time, and yes, now I am back talking some One Piece. For the time being, I'm going to catch up currently to where the anime is currently at right now, because currently right now, the anime is currently on a year-long break. Um, about a few months ago, the One Piece anime went on break, and it was basically a way because I guess Toei wanted to improve the animation and everything. I don't know what else they needed to improve upon because I thought, regardless, what they've been putting out in terms of content of anime episodes, it's been freaking great. But I'm guessing they must have been looking at, I guess, JJK, Demon Slayer, and I also guess they must have been looking at what's going on with how Bleach is being handled in terms of their animes, and they're like, well, no, we got to step our game up. Okay, I don't see how it can improve any better than it was before, but I'm guessing with the fact that a bunch of big stuff is coming, is happening in the future of the anime, that's probably why. So there's that. And then I also felt like they're doing this to get farther ahead, or doing this to let the manga get farther ahead so they can continuously adapt more content. Now, currently, right now, the manga is still ahead by, I would say, an okay like amount. But the thing is that actually came up. I guess Oda is apparently ill or something, and I guess they're on like I don't know how long One Piece is on break now, but like I think they're on like a little bit of like an indefinite like situation right now, right there, since Oda is basically out due to being ill or getting sick and his health being in poor shape. So, Shonen Jump gave him some rest, which, hey, listen, that's good. Give him as much rest as he needs. We don't want him to suffer the fates of like other authors where what's his face that where they're just in poor health because of the situation there. Now I'm looking at the Shonen Jump app right now. It seems like the next chapter, which is chapter 1032, will be coming out in 8 days, which will be a release date of next week. Um, so look, all we can hope for, hopefully Oda isn't too ill. Hopefully he's recuperating and getting better and he's getting stronger. But I also felt like this reason for this break for the anime is so the manga can get farther ahead, much farther ahead. So then the anime, which has basically been releasing on a yearly basis, where they just drop episodes here and there throughout the year, and then if they need a break, that's fine. And as of late, we've been always given these getting these like offshoot special episodes, which are just really recap episodes. It's just literally just filler in place for that week, so then the manga can just at least get farther ahead of within a week. So I'm guessing also Toei saw like we've been kind of doing this. Oh, let's do maybe like 4 or 5 episodes of main content, and then we'll do like this special episode break, which is just basically a freaking recap episode, let's just be honest. And that's basically it. So I'm guessing they got sick and tired of that. They're like, you know what? Let's not only improve the quality of our anime, but let's also go on like a year-long break so then the manga can get farther ahead so then we can just go non-stop. Now, how this will affect the pacing going forward, I don't know. It will probably still be a slow pacing for the anime. But regardless, it's nice to see that they're finally giving the One Piece animators probably a nice needed break. Because listen, they worked their asses off throughout that entire Wano arc, and then they were even killing it in what we've been getting so far in the Egghead arc. So this could also be another thing for their animators. And usually with Japan, they're pretty, with the way they operate, it's really damn bad over there and really strict of how they treat their workers in terms of how they make their manga and their animes. It's just a brutal like life cycle that they have to do. So the fact that those animators are getting probably basically damn near a whole year break, as long as they're not like working on other animes and stuff like that, that's good for them. So whatever. But anyways, I am back talking One Piece. I know it's been like months since I last did a One Piece episode review. If I could go to my channel right now, I think the last time I did a One Piece anime episode review, as I'm looking if I can freaking find it. Here we go. My episode 1017 episode review was 2 months ago. So 2 months ago, that was the last One Piece episode review. I apologize for my One Piece fans. Again, a lot of stuff and a lot of personal stuff gets in the way of that, like my work, my life. And then again, obviously, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you clearly see that I post other videos, other reviews of other animes and things that I like to watch and stuff like that, and even some gameplays here and there. And you see, even I'm slacking on those as well. But here we are talking One Piece. I'm gonna basically get to the point of all the way where the anime is currently at stopped at. I'll also review that one like anime original special fan letter thing about that kid that apparently looks up to Nami, which a lot of people said that special was really damn good. So let's get to it. So episode 1018, and we basically pick up and we have it to where Sabo explains what the hell happened and why he was not the one that killed Cobra. So he is trying to get the keys to free Kuma from the Celestial Dragon's reigns. He's basically fighting some Marijois guards and everything, and he's just absolutely just dominating. He's kicking their freaking asses. Now it's funny because he left them in basically piles of flame. I don't know if he was killing them because he was using that dragon claw grip. Don't know if he actually killed them, but if he did, well, I'm if he did, I guess there's no problem there. The world government is corrupt, and honestly, as much as those people probably have families, F them. So that's the thing. He ends up getting the keys, and shockingly enough, he actually runs into Jewelry Bonnie, because remember at this time, Jewelry Bonnie was also at Marijois for the Reverie, right? And basically, they basically are somewhat working together in this situation, but they're kind of running away from guards. But they basically make the mention of the fact of I knew you were in the Revolutionary Army, and my father said, and my father and everything. And essentially the thing is, Sabo basically tells Bonnie, Kuma always told us that she had a daughter, that he had a daughter. And it's nice to know that we finally met. So basically Bonnie's essentially saying she's cool with the Revolutionary Army because now she knows the Revolutionary Army is here for the goal of saving her father, because it seems like that's what was her original goal. She was probably going to try to get her father, take the father to Egghead to have Vegapunk fix Kuma. But now that she knows, the Revolutionary Army is here and they're trying to get Kuma, I'm in good hands. So yeah, eventually they hear some guards coming up. Sabo princess carries Bonnie, which I think is cute. No, I do not ship Sabo with Bonnie. I ship Sabo with Koala. They basically jump into this balcony up top in the castle, and they're overhearing the conversation. And basically one of the guards makes the conversation about the lost chamber, and the other guy's like, shut the fuck up about that, you're not supposed to talk about the lost chamber, you know what type of significance that has. And that actually piques Sabo's mind and everything. So after they leave, essentially he takes Bonnie outside. Essentially Bonnie basically says that she's going to be going to Egghead to go find Vegapunk to go help her dad. And essentially Sabo's like, well, after we're done here, we're actually going the opposite direction of where you're going. He ends up basically telling her look, best of luck, stay safe out there, don't get yourself in any trouble. And Bonnie's just like, that's interesting. That, see, it wouldn't make sense if it was maybe a pirate, but the fact that a Revolutionary Army member is saying this to me, I guess that's pretty interesting. Now, listen, I don't think that's interesting much of anything, because it's listen, technically, yes, you may be a pirate, Bonnie, but at the same time, it's you also technically can be, known as an honorary member of of the Revolutionary Army since your dad's a part of it, but that's the thing. But she knows like they obviously have um his best interest at heart. So she basically says like, look, just take care of my father and get him back and make sure he's okay and everything. So they go their separate ways. Sabo ends up going back into Pangea Castle to go look over this lost chamber because actually Morley ended up showing up as they were running through the hallways. He gives Morley the keys to free Kuma, and then he tells Morley like, hey, I'm going to go handle something real quick. So that's what it means. Now, we do end up cutting over. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave the Cobra stuff for last. We don't. That was the last of Saba we see. The only other thing that we see that is, don't know what the hell just fell. That we see in this episode is the situation with Charlos. So Charlos comes back, and if you remember the first go around, Charlos tried to claim Shirahoshi as his pet essentially because he's so infatuated with Shirahoshi, and it's clear he just doesn't do he didn't stop before. He got stopped the first time, and you think, okay, maybe you learned your lesson. Just leave them alone. No, he legitimately is like, no, I need this. I need this thing. I need this mermaid so I can parade around, basically flaunting to the other celestial dragons and probably other worlders that I have a mermaid in my grasp, you know. So he basically is chained her up and everything and having Kuma try to take care of her. She's asking for help. The other nobles, they end up eventually running off because they're like, well, who the hell cares if she lives or she dies? She rejected us. And I'm just like, you people really realistically ain't gonna help her, even though she's asking for help. But y'all people just upset that she rejected you to be your wife, and that's why you're not gonna go help. So, okay, that's the thing. Now, her brothers end up showing up to try to get in the way and try to stop them. But Kuma starts to get in the way a bit. Rebecca also comes in and is like, I can't believe it. They're doing it again. He's doing it again. And we just have it to where Leo and Leo and Sai, they end up getting involved. Sai actually ends up asking Mioscard, like, hey, am I good to do this? And Mioscard's like, yeah, you can attack him. So they end up attacking Charlos, basically using some of their strongest attacks, and basically pummels Charlos into the ground to the point like the man's bleeding. Everybody thinks he's dead. All the other nobles are like, oh my god, they just freaking or they just attacked a celestial dragon. They're gonna freaking they're gonna freaking get freaking they're gonna freaking get the admirals to come here and they're gonna be toast. But at this point, Mioscard made the mention about the fact of like, okay, what are that they're pirates or something, because he gets in the way of Shirahoshi's brothers, and he's like, look, I don't want you guys to attack them because you guys are noble, are obviously royalty. Have the pirates do it. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Well, obviously Leo and Sai are a part of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, so they're technically pirates, so they can do it. And that's kind of the thing. They free Shirahoshi, and in the meantime, Kuma gets taken down. You have it to where the one giant of the Revolutionary Army shows up. Morley gives him the keys, or Morley tells dude, like, all right, we need to go. Now we got him. So everybody's just shocked. They're like, what in the actual hell is going on? So that's where that goes on, and seemingly enough, that's the thing. Now, I would have request Sai and Leo to get the hell out of there because the Celestial Dragons like to tattle on people, and you do not want to get into trouble, right? So then that leads us to the Cobra situation. The Cobra situation was and I remember reading this in the manga for the first time. This shit was absolutely wild. Like legitimately, it was absolutely wild with the reveals that we were getting here. And this was only like just the first part. Like the next episode 1019, ends up or no, no, episode 1019, episode 100, episode 1000, yeah, 1119 was absolutely crazy. That's gonna get crazy. Um, hold on, actually hitting up one of my friends. All right. Anyways, so what happens is, so they basically walk in Cobra. And so Cobra is basically looking at the Lost Chamber area. He sees the swords, the 20 swords that are near the basically the throne, which signifies that there will be no one ruler um in this that is running the One Piece world, right? And then that's when he ends up being confronted by um the Gorosei, the five elder stars, essentially, right? And basically they asked him like, okay, you wanted an audience with us. What is it that you need to talk to us about? So basically, Cobra talks about the history and how the world government started about 800 years ago. You know, obviously after the world government defeated the ancient kingdom, essentially, they made a declaration that there will be no one ruler, no one dictator. So by sticking all the swords near the throne, essentially that signifies that there's unity, there is everybody on the same level. There's not one ruler in this land, in this world, right? And he goes on to make the mention about his or the Alabasta origins. And he talks about, and he makes the mention, he's like, 800 years ago, we had a queen that ruled Alabasta, called Lily Queen Lily Nefeltari, right? He basically says like she was the original like queen or the original ruler of the Alabasta kingdom, and he goes on to make the mention like, the Nefeltari family did not end up becoming celestial dragons. The other families, the other countries, like for example, like Dressrosa with the Don Quixote family, what is it? They all stayed. The other, 19 families stayed. The Nefeltari family was the only family in the One Piece world that were like, no, we don't want to be celestial dragons. We're good. We're gonna go back to our country. And that's what Cobra said. He said that Lily had wanted nothing to do with basically being a celestial dragon. Now he makes the interesting point to the world government, or to the Gorosei, and he's like, okay, so the thing that I've been looking through our records and everything, yes, that's all accurate and true, but the one interesting thing is the fact that Queen Lily Nefeltari never returned back to Alabasta after she basically came from Marijwa at that time 800 years ago. And he's like, so do you guys happen to know what happened to her? Like, only thing we know is she went up to Marijwa. This whole declaration about the 20 kingdoms and everything, and blah 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 happens, and then she doesn't want to be a part of the twin things, and the next thing you know, she leaves and she's never to be seen or heard again, and she never returned to Alabasta. Her brother actually ended up taking over and ruling Alabasta after she basically disappeared. And he's basically telling the frickin' five elders, he's like, you guys know anything about that? And they're just like, no, we don't know shit about that. Is that really it? That's all you had to ask, is about somebody missing? And they legitimately like, bruh, if you didn't know something from 800 years ago, why do you think we would know something from 800 years ago? Which I think is complete sketch, because it's like, oh, come on now. You people have to know what has happened 800 years ago because you're sensitive about everything, right? And we just also see where they cut over to Emu, and Emu is listening in on this conversation too. So then So then the elders are just like, look, man, if that's all you got, leave, please. You ain't got nothing else better to be here. You wasted our time if you're gonna ask us about somebody that disappeared. Now, that's when Cobra starts to get things interesting. I'm like, I think I know why Cobra probably died, because the problem with Cobra is he just needed to know so much information, he just couldn't keep his damn mouth shut. And I think the Gorosei were willing to let him be like, all right, he just patronizes these questions. We might need to keep an eye on him going forward, but he didn't ask too many questions. And then that's when he started asking the questions, talking about like, well, you see, I ended up going through my records, and there was actually a letter from 800 years ago from Lily. And then that's when the Gora says, they're like, excuse me, what? And they're just like, he's got a letter from something 800 years ago, which probably dates back to the Void Century. Okay, now we got a problem, right? And then he literally asked him the question point blank. He's like, so what's the meaning of the D? And they're just like, it's like, see, their reaction to Cobra saying like the D stuff, it's like legitimately, they're just like, it's like a word or a phrase that shall not be spoken in the halls around them. Like they legitimately get triggered the moment they hear him speak the word D. And they're just like, motherfucker, are you serious right now? And they're like, why are you uttering that damn name, right? And everything. And essentially, this man, they're all starting to be like, all right, brother, we don't have time for this now. It's like, look, man, we highly request. Basically, he basically makes them, the elders basically, the elders, after Cobra ends up saying like, listen, tell me again, what is the meaning of the D? And basically the five elders are like, Cobra, do us a favor. Just leave. Just leave. Just leave. That's all we need you to do. Leave. And in a weird way, that was kind of them making their threat, telling them like, if you don't keep your mouth shut, we're gonna have to put you down. We're being generous right now to just let you leave. So take your leave of absence and go. Now, footsteps are getting heard back in the background, and then the Gorosei end up turning around. They're like, oh fuck. And then they see Eam walking. Cobra sees Eam walking and is in utter shock. And the elders are like, Emu, what are you doing here? Cobra is still here. What are you doing here? And basically Cobra's like, Emu-sama. And Cobra just sees Eam, or Emu, whatever you want to call Emu, or whatever this thing is, because we don't know what gender it is. Cobra sees Emu walking up the stairs all the way to the throne. And Cobra sees Emu sitting on top of the throne, where the 19 swords or the 20 swords laid right there at the throne's feet, signifying that there is not one true ruler. Well, Emu is just like, yeah, you thought, no, I'm sitting here. And basically, Emu just looks at Cobra and gives like this pretty pissed off look, and it's like, Lily. And that's where the episode concludes, and that's where you get your next your to be continued screen and blah 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 blah. In the next episode, we get obviously the aftermath of that, so there's that. Now the way they portrayed Emu's voice, because it was very interesting. I remember in the manga, or people were very intrigued to hear what Emu sounded like, but they kind of had like a voiceover type of thing where it's like you can't signify if it's a guy or a girl speaking. Obviously, people have had their theories, and I think it's the fact, long enough at this point, if you've seen the anime, people have a theory that deep down Emu is more than likely Lily of the Nefeltari family. Now, again, I said it in my manga chapter reviews too. Like, if that's the case, it would make sense. Like, okay, why did Lily just go missing all of a sudden? It would make sense if Lily's actually Emu, and somehow has had this immortality, power, or whatever, and everything and stuff like that. So it's like that potentially could be a thing, or people are throwing out some other stuff. It's interesting to see what Lily is, and Lily, or Lily, it's not Lily, Emu, potentially what Emu looks like. Like, it's still showing the black silhouetted character, and until we get that reveal of who actually Emu is, we're gonna be seeing Emu going forward just having this black silhouette and these red eyes. But we'll see. But overall, solid episode. So I'm glad to be talking One Piece again. Again, I'll try to get these videos out, not daily, but maybe every other day, best I can. I am on technically my Thanksgiving break from work, so I'll have a bunch of time to watch the episodes and then review them. So, anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit that subscribe button if you want more One Piece content, as well as any other anime content I upload to the channel. Until then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day. Not in this video. Peace.